Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Free Thinking the Culture podcast with your host Noir. That's me for those of you who don't know. And if you could be so kind to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, it helps us grow organically, okay? So if you haven't been in touch with reality that's going on right now, currently right now, Johnny Depp is suing Amber Heard in court over defamation. So what we're gonna do is review one of the clips from today, which kind of caught my attention in the gaslighting category. You may or may not agree, and that's totally up to you. Everybody's open to their opinion, but please be advised that I'm not saying Amber Heard is guilty. I'm not saying Johnny Depp is guilty of anything like that. I am just a spectator, just like you guys are. I have not been in any know abouts of that situation. You know, I'm just here watching like you guys. But something about this particular clip just kind of made me pause and say, "Whoa, wait a minute." It almost came off very like "I dare you to look at me" type stuff, like in my mind when I reviewed this clip. And I was watching it live, but it's a clip as I play it to you guys. So let's go ahead and get started on the first one.
No. Oh no, a hug will save it all. All this, everything we just been
I just wanted to touch you.
through. Really? After all this shit you just said?
I just wanted to give
After
you a
all this
hug.
shit you fucking accused me of? You want to touch me?
Please stop me.
Okay, so let me pause it really here, right here. Okay, in this moment, you hear the recording of Amber, wanting to hug Johnny. Now, from my understanding, this is after the temporary restraining order. So to me, this is already gaslighting to so she could possibly use it again later on. That's one of the things I noticed, and the lawyer actually asked her that after the fact. Now, I was unaware that the restraining order was already in place, and to me, that already gives me a red flag if you're not paying attention to that. Because I would have never known that had the lawyer not asked that, and then she answered it herself. So that comes from Amber's mouth, okay? So let's go ahead and continue with this.
Please stop. Please, I just wanted to hug you and say bye. I didn't want to take you back.
We did that last night. That was
Hold on.
no, because I'm nothing to you, and I will always be nothing to you.
Calm. Calm.
Well, you're not my friend.
It hurts my heart. Please just calm.
No, you're a fucking
And so in this clip again, she's begging and she's pushing, like, and not pushing physically, but pushing for the interaction way more. And this is somebody who claims or alleges that she was abused by this particular gentleman, Johnny Depp. What I'm having an issue with is how are you able to do these things after you just pressed the restraining order? And like he said, after you said all of these things about me, how could you now? Also, one could interpret it that's Johnny feeling like the abuser saying, well, how could you do this to me? Because abusers do, question, like, why would you ever do this to me? How could you do this to us? So it could be seen from both sides. I understand that. But to me, as this clip goes on, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Let's finish.
we'll never see each other again. You won't don't see my fucking glasses, huh? You don't like fucking looking at my fucking eyes? You will not see my eyes again.
Okay, and just for clarification, she was trying to take off his glasses, and he was like, "No, basically, don't touch me. You'll never see my eyes again." Now here goes the oopsie daisy.
That's you and Mr. Depp in that recording.
That is.
And this is from when you and Mr. Depp met in San Francisco in July of 2016, right?
Yes, that's what it sounds like. That was in the hotel. We met once after that as well.
This is after you publicly accused him of domestic abuse.
Yes, and got my TRO.
Okay, and she said, and yes, and got my TRO, and that's temporary restraining order for those of you who don't know. What I'm having an issue with is how are you, the victim, alleged victim, I don't know because I wasn't there, but why would you then approach this man knowing that you have a temporary restraining order in place against him? So then if he doesn't do what you say, then you can easily go to the police and say, he was in my space during this time, and he could be arrested for that. Why is she not being held responsible for the fact that she violated the restraining order? If not, if she was, let me know in the comments. I'm not aware of that. However, I find it very disheartening to see somebody use the law against somebody like this and then still be able to kind of antagonize them in a certain way. And you may not look at it this way, but to me, if somebody had a restraining order against me, I would find this as a way to antagonize and to agitate me. And this to me is also a form of gaslighting. It's like, oh, I didn't mean, but it's like, but you did do that though. So let's go ahead and finish.
And he tells you you will not see my eyes again, doesn't he?
Yes, he does in that recording.
And he kept that promise, hasn't he?
As far as I know, he cannot look at me.
He won't look at you, right, Miss Heard?
He can't.
Okay, so that's the part that really got my attention when she said he can't. The lawyer said he won't, meaning that's his choice to look at you whether he wants to or not. That's not up to you. She says he can't. Now, unless it's something in the restraining order saying that he can't look at you, to me, that's almost like I dare you. That's my opinion. That's the way I looked at it. I don't know if you, as the viewer, you looked at it the same way. But to me, when I caught my ear, I said, "Whoa." She said he can't, and it's just the way that she looked, and it's like she keeps looking at the jury. Look at the lawyer when you're talking. Like, talk to them and just go ahead and she's the one that asking the questions. You don't have to look over at the jury every single time to get them for validation or to get them to believe you, okay? But let's go ahead and go into the second clip that really caught my attention.
Why are you here? Do you remember that?
I do.
Let's please play Plaintiff Exhibit 357A, which is already in evidence, Your Honor. And for the record, it's 2122 through 2140.
Pay attention.
And see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence. And
Yes.
It's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
Okay, so let's pause really quick on this point. Now, this clip, that audio had surfaced already before, and it's already been online. So this isn't something new. However, in the media, when a man is accused of something like this, we've been really pushing believe all women, okay? And honestly, if it's an alleged victim, our hearts generally go towards the victim. But when you have things like this surface around and say, "Dude, tell them, and let's see how many people believe you," that to me is gaslighting, because that lets people know I have the power in this. You do not. They're gonna believe me because how could I ever hurt a big strong man? I'm just a little woman. It almost plays into the fact of that kind of generalization. And that to me is very dangerous in a court of law, especially when you have this man against woman dynamic. But let's go ahead and continue.
That's your voice on that recording, right?
Yes, it is.
And you were speaking with Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And you said to Mr. Depp, quote, you can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and the judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, a man, a victim too of domestic violence, end quote. That's what you said, right?
I was saying it to the man who beat me up, yes. I thought it was preposterous.
So it's not like I'm really trying not to make a joke and mad out of it, but I mean, because she's had time to reflect on this audio now to try to clean it up. I just I'm really having a hard time processing it, if I can be totally honest with you, because I've seen and heard women speak like this before in the regular life. So to me, when I hear people like this caught like on audio, it almost leaves them to a point to where you can't escape that, because no matter how you try to word that, you saying that to somebody, just like the audio that came out with her saying, "Oh, I did not slap you," or I hit you," and then she was like, "I'm only such and such, such and such." It's basically leading off the example of, just because I'm not this heavy woman or I'm not this big woman, they're not gonna believe that I hurt you. You're a whole man, I'm a woman. They're not gonna believe what you're saying against me. It's basically what I got from those audios. So linking that up with this, it really gives me a bad feeling in my stomach, because I was like, this is not where we're supposed to be as a society. But let's go ahead and finish out the last of this.
And the man you beat up numerous times. Right, Miss Heard?
I could never hurt Johnny.
See, this right here, that I never could hurt Johnny. It is not up to you to dictate when somebody is hurt. The man got the tip of his finger chopped off, basically. You gonna tell me that didn't hurt? It's a lot of things that see, and there's this thing that like men are these indestructible tanks, like you can do any and everything, and we're not supposed to be affected on any level. To me, that's very, very dangerous to present to anybody, to the public. Of I can never hurt him. You don't know that. That's not up to you to say. You're not the person that's being hurt, and on this sense, in this sense of it, you do not feel what he feels. So how can you possibly say that? But let's finish this.
You're here in this courtroom because Mr. Depp finally told the world that he's a victim of domestic violence.
I know that he is suing me and has sued other people or corporations that have said that as well.
You didn't think he would tell the world he was a victim of domestic violence, did you?
I found it hard to believe that he could or that he would do that, considering the relationship he and I had.
So it almost seems as if she kind of validates domestic violence going both ways, possibly in this relationship. But the thing is, she's trying to word it so very carefully to not hold herself accountable in this situation, because then she would have to admit, well, yeah, it kind of went both ways. But she's saying, like, I find it hard to believe that he reported it, because men don't report things like that. So maybe that's what she's alluding to. I don't know. I'm not trying to put words in her mouth. But to me, it just rubbed me the wrong way with this.
I thought it would be crazy for him to do so, knowing what I know we lived through.
Or, as you said to him in that recording, who was going to believe that Johnny Depp, a man, is a victim of domestic violence, right?
With all due respect, I wasn't saying it because he's a man. I was saying it because he's a man who beat me up for 5 years.
Mr. Depp is your victim, isn't he?
No, ma'am.
And once he left...
Okay, and then that's the end of that clip. I'm going to be real with you. It rubbed me the wrong way. It really made me stop in my tracks from what I was doing, and it just made me look and say, wow, this is really being played out on on television, and this is where we are as a society right now, to where we really, really have to put these things in the public eye to make examples. And I feel like this court case is going to be an example. If Johnny wins this case, it's going to be a pure example of how things are not always as it seems. And if she wins, then that's going to be it for him. I'm not saying that's going to be the end of his career, no. But it's going to speak highly to the fact of how things can be done one certain way, and then when it's looked at another certain way from another lens, from another gender, it's a problem. And to me, it's very troubling. So let me know what you think, what your thoughts are, I should say, down in the comments. And again, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get the conversation going. Thanks for watching, guys. Later.